Hey guys, Steven here, Fanatic Perspective. So a lot of you guys been asking where have I been at? What's up, Steve? Why haven't you been posting more regularly? And so I just wanted to provide a quick update before I jump into what I'm going to talk about in the video. As you can see, I'm in another location filming. I've been all over the place, moving around, bouncing, different people's cribs, all sorts of stuff. Period of transition in my life. So I'm just going to be transparent with you guys because that's just how I roll. After my mom passed, I moved out of Austin. I left DC. I was still in DC for a while, but moved out of Austin. And my wife and I we were already looking for our first home, but then really ramped up. And anybody that's been following the housing market has known how crazy things have been. So we've been staying with family, staying with in-laws, and just bouncing around. And I'm thankful for everybody we've had that has put up with my wife and my brother and just the three of us as we are like vagabonds all over the place. But blessing has occurred. We are getting our first home and closing on Friday. Knock on wood. So what that means is studio. What that means is a permanent location to really, really set up and take this channel to the next level, the level it deserves, and not be so mobile all the time where I'm filming. I think I've filmed at like 10, 11 different places, outside, car, different rooms, all sorts of things. So having a designated space in my home, which is something I look for in the home buying process, I am thrilled. I am thrilled. And I'm thrilled for you guys because I think this channel is ready to go to the next level and grow, especially during this season, whether it's Cowboys football, whether it's Longhorns football. I'm very motivated to get bigger, badder, better with all the content that's coming on and that we hope to produce. So y'all continue to support us by subscribing, hitting that like button. I appreciate it. But I want to jump in to I made a video about Hard Knocks a few weeks ago, and I'm fascinated with Hard Knocks HBO, how they do it, how they produce it. I'm fascinated with it being my team, the Dallas Cowboys, and everything I hit in that preview video I made a few weeks ago. If y'all want to go back and check that out, I've been on the money. So episode 1, episode 2 in the books. Last night was episode 2. Thought it was really, really good episode. And straight up and down, guys, like I'm not even playing with y'all. Like everything I hit on, I told y'all I want to see Micah Parsons in the intensity, right? That was like my fifth thing, and what he's bringing to the table, and just all of the energy coming from Penn State and the bravado, and they've done a good job of featuring him. His mom is fun in the stands. He's eating oranges at halftime, and he's an intense dude. He loves ball. I know there was an interesting Twitter debate about, his comment about trying to make every play juxtaposed against Leighton Vander Esch, saying you got to make the plays that are coming to you and blah blah blah. But it's just refreshing to see somebody with that intensity, right? And Micah's bringing that to the team. That's what he was hired to do, and I've really come around on him. I was a big Rashawn Slater guy. That's who I wanted to draft, but defensively, they needed an attitude adjustment in conjunction with Dan Quinn coming in here. Perfect guy there just to be a playmaker and be that wild card on the defense. Like you've seen, Troy Polamalu just was inducted to the Hall of Fame, and I know he was a strong safety, but having that impact as like that joker type of player on defense who can do anything. And I see something like that for Micah Parsons. So that's been really cool to see. I had random coach, right? There's always that random coach. We never know who it is that'll become a star. And Aiden Dirty from London, and you have a defensive line coach from London. Yeah, that person's going to be a star. And he was fantastic. I actually wish we got more of him in episode 2 and his interaction with the players, especially Terrell Basham. And it is really, really cool to see the way football culture is starting to spread on a global scale. But also, he's a really good football coach, and I like the way he was communicating with the guys. Now, it'll be measured with how the defensive line group performs in semblance with Dan Quinn's defense. But I like what I was hearing. I like his energy. I like how he's with the guys. He has that he's hard and he's cussing people, but he's also tender and showing love. And when Basham, it was either bad. No, it was Kamara. When Kamara hit the quarterback by accident, hit Danucci's hand, he kind of gave him a pound back, was just like, hey, don't hit the quarterback. Like understanding where to turn it up and or talk to somebody as a professional. So it's cool to see him. I gave y'all Boss Man Fat. I gave y'all CD Lamb. We're getting both. I think we'll get more Boss Man Fat. But they did touch on his rap career and they touched on the music videos. They've shown us a lot of CD Lamb in his ascension to being not only wide receiver one in conjunction with Amari Cooper, but a star in this league. And to see that hype, and not just the hype, but already coming off of a very promising rookie campaign. Where is he going from here? So seeing that has been awesome. And then Dak Prescott, unquestioned leader of the Dallas Cowboys. That's been the recurring storyline. We understand the injury stuff became really big in between episode 1 and 2, especially that second MRI. Seems to be water on the bridge. Although he probably won't play in preseason, he should be ready to go for week 1. But more so just his impact on the team. Off the field, on the field, work ethic, his personal relationships, Zeke, offensive lineman, the quarterback room, and he's talking to Danucci about swag. You guys know how I am about looking the part. I really just root for guy. I love four. And this show, I think, is only just making more people fans of Dak and his brand and what he brings to the table. And God forbid he does anything on the football field in terms of leading this team winning wise. I think he'll end up being one of the most popular guys we've seen a long time in this league. And I mean that with the personality and professionalism that he brings to the table. So that's my Cowboys piece. I do want to jump into the Longhorns, but I'll segue with Connor Williams and the little bit of drama that did happen where he flung Aaron Donald to the ground. Man-child Aaron Donald. But it's always cool to see my Longhorn guys in the league and just watching them at that next level, because the better they do, we can always use that as a recruiting tool for my college football fans and those of you who follow for Texas. But a lot of guys making noise early for in the league, and shout out to Sam Ellinger. I'll start with General Ellinger as I segue off of General Prescott. Sam getting the opportunity to play the entire second half for the Colts in a battle with Jacob Eason for that number 2 job, and also probably the ability to start the first few games of the season for the Colts as Carson Wentz is recovering from a foot injury. And Sam got off to a shaky start, had the pick, and it was kind of a microcosm of his Texas career that second half. And I know he ended up pulling it out and whatnot, but just the grittiness and the toughness that he plays with and the leadership he provides. And getting better over the course of the game. And I was happy to see Sam healthy. He looked good. Looked like he was, step quicker, if you will. Tariq Black looked faster. Shout out to Tariq Black. By the way, I apologize to Tariq Black because I thought the brother just couldn't run when he got here. Apparently, not only was he battling an injury, but Yancey McKnight probably was putting cement bricks in everybody's shoes, including Sam Ellinger, because everyone just seemed to be moving faster. I don't know if it was the IC White's the culture in. I'm not sure, but they just seem to be moving at a different speed than they typically moved at Texas. They connected on a deep ball. How about that, right? And so it was just exciting watching that and sharing that moment on Twitter with so many different Longhorn fans who we've just want the best for Sam, right? Want the best for all these former Longhorn players. And so to see him get this opportunity as a 6th-round pick, the parallels, I'll probably do a video about this later, the parallels between him and Dak Prescott, it's just fascinating on and off the field when you really think about both of their stories, and just impressive young men and people to look up to for those of you who are young men, whether you're in or out of sports. But happy they were able to pull out a win. We'll see what Sam is able to do if he gets to start this week. Frank Wright decides to evaluate both him and Jacob and with the ones, because we do want to see Sam out there playing against the top competition, so he can get that opportunity. But I will say this about Sam. Regardless of how this thing plays out, and even when Carson Wentz comes back, I think the Colts are going to have him or should have him active on game days for the simple fact of what he can do in the red zone or short yardage as Bam Bam Sam, because they were doing that to a lesser degree with Jacoby Brissett last year. Sam can do all that in a much probably more suited for that role than even Jacoby Brissett was. So he'll have an opportunity to play and be developed. And he's a guy, I think if you're a coach, you're excited to coach that guy. And everybody I'm about to mention right now from my horns, you're probably, if you're a coach, you're excited to talk. Like Joseph Osai, like it started to piss me off that he was a 3rd round pick. Consensus All-American. The measurables were there at the pro day. He hasn't been playing football a long time. His height weight seems good, but we start getting to things like hand placement and all this type of stuff. When we know the upside there, we know how he practices like a freaking maniac. Team captain, speaks like a star. And the guy's a 3rd round pick because of Texas perception, in my opinion. Like, and then he gets to the Bengals and Tristan Wirfs can't block him. So and he gets a sack on Tom Brady and registers 7 pressures in his first game. So that's the type of stuff I'm talking about in terms of like Joe is going to get some people fired because he's going to end up being one of these guys. And I'm speaking that into existence for him, where you see what happened with Quandre Diggs is one of these guys that really develops into a Pro Bowl, all NFL caliber player. And Joseph Osai has that ability to do that. I'm not saying he's going to be that day 1 or year 1 or year 2 or whatever, but I think with the way Joe works, I'm not betting against him. And what we're already seeing, him playing with even more talented guys, sky's the limit for him. And then my boy, I got to give a shout out to my boy Caden Stearns, rocking number 30 over there in the Denver Broncos. I was so happy to see him healthy and making impact plays back in the end zone against Kellen Mond and breaking up I think it was a fourth and goal, and he breaks up, beautiful ball breakup, great physicality, gets that ball knocked out and saves team points, right? And tackled well. He's been talk to us about taking better tackling angles. Saw that. Coverage ability. Saw that. So that's another guy. Broncos camp. People were really excited. Hey, this guy's pushing for playing time. Hey, this guy could be developing to a starter. Very similar to what we saw with Brandon Jones last year in Miami. So I'm excited about all these brothers, man. Like just seeing them get in the league and do their thing. I think, it's also inspiring for the guys that are at Texas right now. So Sam, Tariq, Joe, I'm not sure how Taquan Graham did. I have to go look him up. Oh, and Cosme too. Cosme on the Washington football team. He plays for the enemy now, but he did get some pancakes in the Patriots game and graded out really well. He's Pro Football Focus darling. So shout out to Sam Cosme, what he did. He was actually the highest drafted Longhorn. So definitely got to show him some love. Despite him being a member of the enemy now. But we want Sam to do great, and he looked really good over there at right tackle. I think Washington has a really, really good offensive line coach. They'll be able to work with him and improve his technique and marry that with his natural gifts. So we're probably also going to be asking the question of why he wasn't, Sam Cosme, that is, a first-round pick. But, yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to add in doing some of these updates throughout the season on our Longhorn guys, just to show them some love and get them, a little bit more attention in the league and bring that visibility out there. But our season preview series for Texas is coming out tomorrow. Y'all bear with me. We're gonna have some things cranking out. I'm so excited for where this channel is gonna go, and I'll also be getting back with y'all more lives too. Let's get a little bit more active and engaged. So I appreciate y'all. For my Cowboys fans, I'll be back with more content and see you guys around. And for my Longhorn fans, horns always up. Appreciate y'all.